Welcome Strategy Battle Gamers to the GBHL YouTube video. You're here with your host GBHL Damien.
And GBHL Tom.
And this is the first in our series of Battle of 5 Armies themed videos.
Yeah.
So the guys did this last year for what was called Desolation of Smaug Week, but then expanded into a kind of bigger thing. So we are thinking this is probably going to be about a fortnight.
Yeah.
Battle of 5 Armies fortnight.
Yeah, Battle of the 5 Armies we have to
Sorry.
say. I always forget.
Battle of the 5 Armies.
Yeah.
And so yeah, there's going to be over the next 2 weeks to get you through till Christmas, and possibly, quite possibly beyond.
Yeah.
There will be a bunch of videos from us talking about the movie. There'll be some movie reviews, some unboxings, and most importantly, perhaps we're going to be going through this, the new supplement, and discussing the profiles and the scenarios in that in a bunch of different videos.
Yeah.
And that is what we're going to start with today.
Yes.
So Tom, we're obviously not going to talk about it all in one go.
No.
There's quite a lot of stuff in here. What are we going to start with?
Well, you'll have probably seen from the title of the video, but we're going to be talking about Laketown and also Smaug. So what does that entail? Well, it's the profiles for the heroes. So we're going to talk about Bard, and talk about the Laketown Militia Captain, the Laketown Militia. We're also going to talk about Smaug.
Smaug.
So that might take a while, and also we will be talking about the new scenario.
Yeah, so this will actually probably be a relatively long video.
Yeah, which is called Fire and Water.
Yeah, so it's everything kind of Laketown related in here. So yeah, so where should we start?
Should we start with the profiles?
Yep. So we start with the new Bard the Bowman profile, which is called Gyrion's Heir.
Yes.
So Bard is, we're doing goblins. Yeah, we're doing goblins. So Bard is 30 goblins.
So
30 goblins, more goblins than you might think.
Yes.
And Bard is the same profile as before, largely. So he's fight 5 and 3+ shoot value, strength 4, defense 4 for the moment.
Yeah.
3 attacks, 3 wounds, and courage 6. And he is 3/3/3, which is different.
Yeah.
He said unprepared.
Yeah. Damon's going to check the old profile.
Because I think he was 3/2/2.
Yeah. It's a really cool pose, the one on foot and on horse. I like him in this blue coat.
So he's in this blue coat, so we know this is after the Laketown's hat.
Yeah.
He was indeed 3/2/2 before. So he's gained a point of will and a point of fate.
Yeah.
So straight off the bat, he's 2 points better.
Yeah,
he's 2 pips better.
Yeah, 2 stats better. Yeah.
And he's 30 points more expensive than the previous Bard.
Yeah, and he also loses his strength 4 bow.
So he loses great bow.
Yeah.
So that's arguably then 1 point better.
Yeah.
You could argue.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anything else he loses?
He loses the Black Arrow special rule in its old form.
Yep, so he's now
that even. His bow. Yeah.
But he also loses rapid fire.
Yes, which was a very good rule.
Yeah, it's a great rule. So he's technically 1 kind of point or 5 points, as we generally think, worse at the moment.
He does have some other special rules though.
Okay.
So before we go into that, what war gear can you take? He can take armour, which is a big bonus for him because he can do defense 5.
Still not great.
No, but it's better than 4.
It is better. I was hoping for 6.
Yeah. But
you can take armour, but of course you have to pay for it.
Yeah. It's 5 points. You can also take a horse now, which does make him reasonably good.
Yep.
And the large thing, he can take the Wind Lance for 75 points.
Despite the fact, are we doing spoilers? No, this is going to come out in December. We won't talk about the film in these profiles. Okay. In these videos.
Okay. But interestingly, the Wind Lance model that you can buy doesn't have Bard in this blue coat.
No,
so this is
Bard
the
in
profile.
This brown coat.
So you're going to have Bard in this brown coat. Then you're going to have to, if he moves away from the Wind Lances, we'll talk about in a sec, he'll then have to change model to the blue coat.
Yeah, like he's just got a job at Pontins.
Yeah, so very odd. In terms of assigning the Wind Lance to this profile. It's one of those things that
is clearly again to do with script changes. Yeah, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah, so it's almost like the Wind Lance should have been for the old Bard.
Yeah.
Before because this is clearly meant to be him leading at the Battle 5 Armies.
Yeah. So, what is the Wind Lance like, Damien?
It's a siege engine.
Yeah.
It's a siege engine with superior construction, which means it fires 60 inches.
It's huge range. Yeah.
Very large.
Just the whole ball.
And it's also strength 10, defense 10, and 3 wounds.
Yeah.
And other than that, it follows all normal rules, I think. So he's the only crew, so Bard can't move it. Once it's deployed, it stays where it is.
Yeah.
Bard can use his might as normal to affect it and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
And he can fire it every turn.
Yeah. Just once.
Yeah, once
it's
every
not like
single turn.
bolt throw.
But he has to pay 75 points for it. So it's a lot to get. And bear in mind, as we said, points wise, he's still 1 point worse.
Yes.
There's the same cost
relative to his old profile.
Yeah. So yeah, does he get any new special rules himself?
He does. He gets a new Black Arrow rule, which is to do with the wind lance.
So that can't really be seen as part of his profile because you have to buy the wind lance for it to be worthwhile.
Yeah. Well.
So if we're just looking at him as a leader,
as a normal
as a Battle 5 Armies character, then that's kind of relevant.
Yeah. So, but the Black Arrow is very good with the wind lance. It means that you can re-roll the to-hit roll, and also the main draw of it is that he doesn't have to roll on the scattered chart, so it will automatically hit.
But this is once per game?
Yeah, once per game, but it will automatically hit the battlefield target that he's aiming for.
Okay.
So that's a strength of 10 hit on somebody that you want, and that will kill them outright if it's not saved with Fake.
Yeah.
Or if the model has 10 or more wounds, it'll halve those wounds, and we'll come on to that, I'm sure, later. But it doesn't automatically wound like the old Black Arrow bow rule. So you still have to roll to hit, which is a 3, and roll to wound, which is strength 10, so on most things it'll be a reasonable value. But
and he's got a few might points.
You know, you're still risking a reasonable amount when you use it.
Yeah. And any other special rules?
Yeah, he has another Saviour of Laketown rule. So this is essentially where the extra points come for Bard. And to make it worthwhile, you need to bring some other models with him. So Bard is kind of a champion of the Laketown people now, and he has a 12-inch standfast.
That's good.
Which is it's a nice rule for a good army. It's a good rule to have. And then the big thing is that all Laketown Militia and Laketown Militia captains within 12 inch of Bard receive a +1 bonus to their high value and count as being in range of a banner.
Within 12 inches?
Within 12 inches.
Okay.
So that's where the points have gone.
Kind of 3 rules.
Yeah. Because it's 3, and it's 12 inches for them all, which is huge. So he's very similar to Imrahil in that respect. Those rules are quite Imrahil-like.
It's quite hard to point though because they only affect certain troops.
Yeah, because it only affects Laketown Militia realistically. So if you did a J. Clare and bought a ton of Laketown Militia, then he'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Because your entire army gets a reroll.
But you still, even if you forget about the disadvantages, which are that they don't affect all the troops.
Yeah.
And you forget about the advantages, which are that they're 12 inches.
Yeah.
You could call them 15 points.
Yeah.
3 special rules, which would make him worth 10 points more. Than the old profile.
Well, he's 30.
And he's 30 points more. So he's, we think, about 20 points more expensive than he should be.
And
that's comparative to a profile that was already overcosted.
Yeah. So for 150 points, if you're taking the Bard to a competitive tournament, or you're trying to be competitive at a tournament, you will probably not take Bard.
Yeah, Girian's Air.
In the Girian's Air form.
Unless, as you say, you've got a load of Laketown Militia.
Yeah, then it is worth it.
Yeah, but and obviously, if you want to, if you were taking him, you'd obviously give him armour. Yeah. And you'd probably put him on a horse.
Yeah. Now the other thing to say is you're saying the rule's 5 points. If it wasn't for Laketown Militia, I mean the banner's worth 25, not 5. So that's why the difference comes in. But it is only for that troop type. So it's definitely worth it if you're taking Laketown Militia.
Yeah. The model's stunning.
Yeah.
It's a lovely, lovely model. I think I saw the one at the start of the supplement here, which that one is much better than, if you haven't seen it, than the one on the website. I can't see if you're there. That gives a much better impression of how dynamic the pose is than the one that GW are using. Yeah. So it's a really, really lovely model. The face, a lot of people have commented on, is a bit iffy on both of them, but then so is the face on the other Bard. Yeah. So maybe it's the paint job. We haven't seen that model in particular. Yeah. But so it's cool.
But how would we rate this? So for looks out of
the model,
10? Yeah, looks out of 10.
The poses I think are both stunning. I really want it. I haven't ordered this yet. Maybe I have by the time you're watching it.
I'd probably give him about an 8.
Yeah, but the face is a bit off. But
Yeah.
I think hopefully he'll be alright with the paint.
And how do we rate his profile out of 10?
As competitive, it's not very good, is it?
No.
Because it also requires you to take a bunch of... It's the same as the Laketown thing. Like it requires you to take a bunch of not very good troops to make them better.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, as Jay has shown, you can hoard them out.
Yeah, and they're very
and make them very effective. But that requires you then to go all out with the militia.
Which, yeah, it costs a lot of money, but it also is. So there's a lot to paint with a lot of detail.
Yeah, I mean, I could see myself again. Like, I haven't got these yet, but I'll probably get 12 militia at some point.
Yeah.
I could see myself this year when I'm not being particularly competitive, taking him.
Yeah.
And like having him lead them because I really like those sequences in the film.
Yeah.
But would you take the wind lance with him for another 75 points?
Not unless you're doing a scenario.
Yeah, it's not a tournament.
And not unless you know that Smaug's going to dominate a tournament.
Yeah. It could be hilarious to bring up because you're essentially that one black arrow. If you could get something without Faith, you came up against a Dwimmerlake.
Oh, Boromir of Gondor.
Yeah, you know there
Just
might be
killing
something, or a cave troll or something.
Yeah,
monsters.
He's very good at killing that kind of thing, but
it might be fun.
He needs the big things, or an eagle. He needs the big things to be there for him to shoot.
Yeah.
If someone's brought a goblin town, okay, I mean, what's it going to do against the blubbery mass of the Goblin King?
Yeah.
I mean, he's got nothing to shoot.
Marauders would be good. Take out the Marauder every turn.
He'd have to shoot a lot to get his points back.
Yeah.
225 with it.
But
yeah, we still like the profile. It's good for scenarios.
Yeah, I think you'll see quite a few in this supplement that the scenarios, and I'm quite a fan of this.
Mm-hmm.
There's some that are really just plain good, but some of them are clearly written for scenarios. They're written for fun. They're written to take this profile against this profile.
Yeah, exactly.
And that sort of thing.
And the one sad thing is that Girion can't take the Woodlands.
Yeah.
Unless that's FAQ'd at a later date. Oh, I say FAQ'd, it's
that'd be
errated.
awesome. And he could, of course, in Dale, there were loads of black arrows.
Yeah.
He could have loads.
Black arrow every go. But yeah, I had a thought that I might want to get the Wind Lance and have Girion use it, like not attach the Bard model to the Wind Lance and have Girion control it and kind of use Bard's profile.
So you'd use
for
that
Girion,
profile there. Girion's there.
Girion.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people would be alright with that. It's perhaps it's confusing at tournaments. You know, oh, that's Girion. No, it's actually Bard. Why aren't you using Bard? Because you know.
The fluff.
But then technically, if you were to use the Wind Lance model, you'd already be doing that because you'd be using the old Bard look for
exactly
Girion's there.
Okay, so yeah, that's Bard. Laketown Militia Captain. So this guy looks pretty cool. He has a spear with a it's kind of a homemade spear with an odd thing attached to the end. Some blade of some sort.
He's a bit, I don't recognise him. It's a shame because there is a militia captain in the film, isn't there? But it's not him.
No.
But
it's a cool model.
Yeah.
He's got a scythe as well. So he is 8 goblins.
We're talking about Mario goblins with stuff at this point, with a spear or a shield.
Yeah. And he comes with armour and a spear. So he is fight 3. Strength 4, defense 5, 2 attacks, 2 wounds, courage 4, 2/1/1 for might, will and fate, and with that spear. He also has the option to take a shield for 5 points, and the shield, you can't tell from the picture in the model, but there's another picture, there's a couple of other pictures beforehand which show him with a shield on his back, so that clearly comes with the model.
Yep.
So
that would put him up to defense 6?
Yeah.
Higher than Bard?
Yeah.
Girion's there?
Yeah.
Saviour of Laketown?
Yeah. So essentially...
Why is Bard defense 4? It makes no sense.
No, it doesn't.
It makes no sense that when a normal captain is defense 5, it makes no sense whatsoever that Bard in his default state is defense 4.
Yeah.
Silliness.
Yeah. Well, the captain has the armour, and then when Bard puts the armour on, he gets to defense 5, and then the captain takes a shield to go to defense 6. But it's a pretty good profile for the point. I mean, it's essentially 5 points.
It's not a good profile, but it's
essentially it's essentially 5 points too cheap because you essentially get the spear for free, which I don't know how useful.
A couple of might. It's cheap might, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 2 might. The only downside is he's fight 3, but He's essentially like an Orc captain. An Orc captain's the same points, and the Orc gets fight 4 but courage 3. This guy gets courage 4 and fight 3. So you know, you'd probably prefer the fight value, but courage 4 is not bad.
Particularly handy because you'll need it for stand fast for militia.
Yeah, depending on if Bard's around, and then he's got the 12-inch one.
But he doesn't affect heroes, does he? Oh, I see, to affect the other troops.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, nice little profile.
Yeah.
I haven't bought him. I haven't got any militia yet.
Okay, how do you rate the model? Not 10?
That's 7 or something. I think
Yeah.
they're all very nice.
Yeah.
We might be giving them very high points, but then I'm a big fan of all of them.
Yeah, I'd say about 7. I don't think I'll buy him.
The unnamed captains, there's very little point in buying them beyond collecting and completing, is there? Because there's so many named
2 warbands.
Yeah,
Because
there's so many named heroes.
Yeah.
Throughout all the troops for Hobbit releases, there's so many great named heroes
that you'd want to take them for the fluff. But yeah, if you do multiple warbands at militia, then you'll need them like clan captain.
Yeah, of course, because there's only 2.
Oh, unless Alfred can lead them.
I don't think you can.
But we'll come on to that. Okay. Well, let's talk about the army list now. So the army list is called Survivors of Laketown. You can have Bard, Girions Heir, Laketown militia captains, and Laketown militia only. So yeah, no.
So yeah, you're right. If you want more militia, if you want to hoard out your militia, you need a captain.
No Alfred. There was a change to the Army of Laketown list. The new profile of Bard is allowed in the old Laketown list.
But not the militia.
Yeah.
Which is very weird.
And the same, the flip side, you can't use the Laketown Guard in the Survivors of Laketown.
And that one kind of makes sense.
Yeah. But it'd be nice, like you said, to have a smattering of both in a warband, but you can't. But I thought it'd look cool to do that.
Yeah.
So now if you want to take 2 warbands, you could take Militia and Bard, and then Guard and Alfred.
I mean, that would be quite a fluffy army as well,
Yeah.
couldn't it? For the managed contingent,
Yeah.
having Alfred leading some Laketown Guard for like the remnants of them.
Yeah.
They are there in the film.
Yeah.
And having the new Bard leading the what are they called?
The militia.
But then you're not getting the best out of Bards or all.
No, exactly.
Militia.
Yeah.
So yeah, ideally, probably most optimal is one captain and Bard both leading 12 militia. Maybe.
Yeah.
And what about the militia themselves?
Yeah, so the militia, find them. So they are cheap, they're the same as a goblin with a piece of equipment.
Yep.
Fight 2, strength 3, defense 4, 1 attack, 1 wound, 3 courage. So they've essentially swapped their fight value and courage round versus the Laketown Guard.
Yep. And I think some people were expecting them to be 4 because they thought they were going to be the same as the Laketown Guard but one less fight.
Yeah, so they get an extra courage, which makes sense with the fluff.
Yeah, it does.
The
Fluff-wise,
survivors.
it does make a lot of sense actually.
They can also have a bow, or a spear, or a shield, which the Laketown Guard couldn't have, so they can go up to defense 5.
Yeah.
So they're reasonable profiles.
I mean they're better than Laketown Guard, I think.
Yeah,
if you fight 3, I was having a discussion on Facebook today. There's not a lot of problem in fight 2.
You want fight 4.
Yeah.
That's the kind of the milestone. Fight 3 is okay against some mannish armies, but realistically not. I think that with the Master Special rule, that it makes the Laketown Guard good because they can get up to fight 4.
Yeah.
Then that is good to be fight 3 at that point. Because Bard, remember, if you've got Bard in the army, these are going to be fight 3.
Yeah.
Which...
And Courage 3, it's not that helpful because of the stand fast, but that little boost over the Laketown Guard
sometimes
would be
you do have to, as a good army, you don't have Fury. Yeah, you've got to charge Trolls or anything like that. 3 is definitely a lot better.
And having the shields is nice.
Yeah.
The interesting thing I heard is that being defense 4, they are the same defense as the armoured Mirkwood elves. Which seem, they're also the same defence as Glather, aren't they?
Yeah.
Which does, I must admit, seem a bit silly.
Yes.
The same as the Laketown Guard. The Laketown Guard at least look like they're in full armour.
Yeah.
But you can't help thinking that
these might
either they'd be
defence
defence 3 or the elves would be defence 5.
Yeah.
But it's a comparative thing across the ranges, isn't it? Like you probably have to maintain the continuity.
Yeah. But the models are really nice. You get a unique outfit for each one.
Yeah.
And some have remnants of Laketown Guard, like a helmet or whatever.
I think
so the one in the book is this one with the spear, the Laketown Guard helmet. But there's a few others.
Have you got any of those?
I've not bought anything yet, but I will probably pick up a warband to go with Bard. There's shots of them from the back, but I can't see any front shots of them. Not any close-ups anyway.
So that's the Laketown contingent from the Battle of Five Armies.
Yeah, how do you like the profiles and models out of 10 again?
They're cool. I mean, I like the militia. I think the archers are probably the best models.
I really like that's the annoying thing, because I want to get a full warband, but I'd want to get 2 boxes of the archers because those are the ones that I prefer out of the models. But you can't because of the bow limit.
Then you want 18 models.
Yeah, which is not.
You want 2 packs of each one.
No. So I was even thinking I might just get 1 of each.
2 packs of each one and the captain.
Yeah, I was thinking I might just get 1 pack of each and have 9 of them.
It's just hard, isn't it? Like knowing what to buy now and what to go for. So yeah, that's the little Laketown contingent. Yeah, which are quite good, but they're fairly standard sort of troops. Yeah. And up against them,
yes, is this guy. It's Smaug.
Well, we did discuss. We've talked about some of these profiles briefly in kind of speculative form on the plans here, but we now have it all in front of us. So Smaug is
a lot of points. Doesn't matter. He's 700 points. He's a lot of points.
He is. He's an awful lot of points. He's a one-man army. He's in his own army list, so he can't lead anyone. Probably doesn't need it, and he's incredible. Yeah. Could probably be a video on his own talking about Smaug. Yeah. But he is, Tom.
Well, he can move 12 inches.
Flying.
Fight 8 with a 2+ shoot value, which is important. Strength 9, defense 9, 4 attacks, 20 wounds. Courage 6, and 3 might, 6 will, and no fate.
He's got 20 wounds though.
20 wounds though.
And special rules?
Lots of them. Ancient Evil, which is
-1 courage.
But that's the 18-inch range as opposed to the 12-inch. So is it? The Harbinger of Evil is 12 inches. This is like the Balrog has it, and who else has it? Does Sauron have it?
Maybe.
But it's an 18-inch -1 courage. Yeah.
Wow.
So it's huge.
Mark just got better in my eyes.
Yeah. He's fearless. I mean, he's courage 6 anyway.
Courage test. He also doesn't have the. If he takes a wound, he has to take a courage test rule.
No, he doesn't, which is very useful. Fly. Well, if they gave him fearless, there's no point putting that rule in.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Fly, obviously, we said. Resistant to magic, if he does run out of will. And terror, naturally. So it should be something like channeled terror. Yeah. Like the channeled terrifying aura for Smaug.
To charge him, you're going to be at -1 courage.
Yeah. So Smaug can breathe fire, which is like a bow shot.
Which means he can only fly 6 inches.
Yes.
If he wants to do it. Which
or stand still to get the 2+.
Yeah. I think people will forget that and will fly him all over the way. But yeah, if you want him to breathe fire and he moves, he can only move 6 inches and he will have -1. It says
specifically treat Smaug's fiery breath as a bow with a range of 18 inches. Yeah. So yeah, it will hit models and it will set them ablaze.
So set ablaze means that it's normally a strength 9 hit, isn't it? But I think for him it's a strength. Yeah, it's normally strength 9, but for Smaug it's strength 10.
Yeah, why not?
You know, Smaug. Yeah. And then if they do survive.
Yeah, because they then can take fate. They can use fate to try and survive that.
Yes.
But if they suffer a wound, they die. Dead. Automatically.
Gone. Dead. But even if they survive it, they then take a strength 5 hit at the end of every turn.
Yeah.
Unless they lie down.
And it's every model within 2 inches of the target
as well.
So you're going to have to position your models in little.
That's a 5-inch bubble, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you pick a model, 5 inches, everything takes strength 10 hit.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's
horrible.
Yeah.
Absolutely horrible.
It'd be great fun for the Smaug player.
And you would pick. It wouldn't matter which way you pick.
There's no resisting.
There's no resisting or anything. No, you don't have to kill the first one. So yeah.
It depends if it has, because it'll have in the ways, right? So you'd have to. So you could hide from the fire. No, you can't, because he's so high up that he can get anyone.
Yeah, probably be able to see you directly as well.
So there's no way you can get in the way even. Really.
But even then, you'd pick the model 2 inches
Yeah,
in front of it
and just do that.
him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Another special rule.
Yeah, please.
Desolator of the North. So for this one, Smaug may expend a single point of will every turn. I mean, 6 wasn't enough.
There it is. There's the magic.
Yeah.
There's the magic rule.
Yeah. So he has to use will to breathe the fire. Sorry, I should have said from the last turn. For the last special rule. But he also can use the will on magical powers.
So essentially, to breathe fire, he needs a point of will, but he gets 1 point of will every turn.
Yeah.
So if you're not resisting anything,
yeah,
and you are all right with depleting his store,
yeah.
he can breathe fire every turn
and cast a spell
and probably resist
for a will. Yeah. Magical powers. He has compel, transfix, and sap will.
Brilliant.
So all pretty good spells.
Yeah.
On a 4+ and 3+ for transfix.
Particularly with things like transfix being stopping big heroes coming to strike against him.
And sap will. I mean, you can get. No one's going to be able to charge. You can just do that on the things that he doesn't want charging in.
Yeah.
More special rules though. Smaug is an immovable object, so you can't trap him.
Doesn't he always wound against dwarves as well or something?
Oh yeah, sorry. The Desolator of the North. He re-rolls to wound rolls of a 1 when striking against dwarves. So
it's only a 2 that's going to fail because he's going to need 3s.
Yeah. Dwarves are dying. Awful. So yeah, you can't trap him. So yeah,
that in itself. That's huge.
It's a big thing.
When you manage to get one over on him.
Yeah. You're not going to be double striking against him. There's I think someone made a comment, what happens if the Mimic goes up against Smaug and neither of them can back away? They just end the game in combat.
Was it a Smaug v Smaug?
Or Smaug v Smaug, but I think you just, after each turn,
just make a gap.
Make a little gap.
So you can't command him. You can immobilise him though.
Yes. That's a...
It says he can't be knocked over. I mean, that's important. I think that's a modelling thing as much as anything.
Yeah.
But
yeah, you wouldn't want to take your £300 model and move him.
But yeah, not being able to knock him over to get double strikes on him, not being able to trap him to get double strikes on him.
Yeah.
Very hard to get that.
Yeah. Where's the stuff on the immobilised bit?
It says there that he can't be moved against his will.
Oh yeah.
It doesn't say he can't be immobilised.
Yeah.
So I think that was the implication there.
So he can't be compelled.
Yeah, he can't be compelled or commanded, but he can be immobilised.
Okay, but he's got enough will to resist that.
Oh yeah, and he's resistant to magic. Should run out of will.
Yeah. Missing scale is an interesting rule. Models that roll a 6 when shooting at Smaug to hit.
And you can use might on that.
Then make a successful roll to wound. And this is you can use might on that. That means that Smaug will then take a number of wounds equal to the to the strength value of the shooting weapon.
A weapon, not the user.
Yes. So for Bard with his old profile Bard with his strength 4 bow, or Vrasku or crossbowmen will take 4 wounds off if they roll a 6 to hit and then wound with that same dice.
And you're talking about, so let's be optimistic. Strength 4, that's a 6 and a 4.
Yeah.
Against defense 9.
Yeah.
So you got to get a 6 to hit.
Yeah.
And let's take Legolas. He takes 3 shots.
Yeah.
He gets a 6.
1 6.
Yeah. I mean, if he gets a 5, you're not going to might that, are you?
No.
On the off chance you wound.
No. And then because it's strength 3 on 9, you need 6s by whatever 5.
6 by 5, yeah. But Bard manages to hit on a 6. He then rolls a 5. You'd probably use a point of might.
Yeah.
To get a 5 and then need a 3.
Yeah.
And then he'd do 4 wounds on Smaug.
Yeah. Which is reasonable, but all the time you've got to think that Smaug is going to be getting closer to you and and then a good models can't shoot into combat.
Say you've got your 12 archers, you might get 1 shot in. 12 manish archers. 2, and that's a fair
few. You're going to struggle to wound him. 2
are going to hit, and strength 2 is going to need 6s by 6s.
Yeah.
So you're going to need to do the multiple wounds on him, you're going to essentially need 3 6s in a row.
Yeah.
It's not likely.
No. But it's a cool rule.
Yep. It's designed for the Wind Lancer, isn't it?
Yeah. Smaug also, but there are ways to get around it. Treebeard with a stone.
Yeah.
Strength 10. Things like that. So there are ways of doing it. Yeah, he also has unstoppable momentum, which means that Smaug knocks to the ground when he charges, apart from a Mimic. Doesn't say apart from another Smaug, but then he doesn't need to because Smaug can't be knocked over. Then the big one is that furthermore, should Smaug choose to make a brutal power attack, a barge...
Clue, he will.
Any model forced to back away also suffers a strength 9 hit. So if you get a load on Smaug to do those wounds and you lose, he will barge every single model and get a strength 9 hit on them and then recharge into the model he actually wants to damage.
Yeah. It's good enough.
So he gets a free strength 9 hit on everyone, and then the one hero...
He's basically going, bah, bah.
Yeah. I mean,
when he goes
it's
into
cool
error
because it means that you're getting your points worth for it.
Yeah. He's worth 700 points.
He will take on 100 point armies and give them a game.
Now what's interesting about this is there has already been a huge thread on Facebook, on the Facebook group, about, this could well be a couple of weeks ago now, depending on if you're looking at this, about how to kill Smaug.
Yes.
Now there are ways, of course there are ways. The commonly suggested things have been like Morgul Blades and the King of the Dead. Yeah. And the Morgul Blade, the Witch King on a fell beast potentially goes in and gets him. Treebeard throwing stones has been in there. Another dragon breathing fire at him. Yeah. And these things are all true. Yeah. No, you know, I think some of this came from the sketch at the start of the Planter that we were saying. I saw that it's possible that was satire. Yeah. But whilst they're true, you're not gonna. This is surely geared towards tournaments. Yeah. We must be talking about tournaments here because if you were doing it as a scenario, then you know you're facing Smaug and you would be having an army that was appropriate. Yeah. You wouldn't be. You might amongst your friends do it. Right, I want to build an army to kill Smaug. Yeah. You're going to take Smaug. Let's see who wins. Fair enough. But coming up with all these isolated solutions, it's like it's easy. You take an Ent and you take the King of the Dead and you take the Witch King on a fell beast. It's like, oh well, hang on. For one thing, you know. But
you're not going to take that to a tournament.
Yeah, exactly. Not very, are you going to take those things to a tournament?
Dragons with breathe fire aren't great because they don't have the will to use it effectively.
Are you going to use 50 points on that on the off chance you might?
Treebeard's fine. Treebeard's fine to take to it.
But are you like to take Treebeard and the King of the Dead?
No, not together.
If you take the Witch King on Felbeast, are you now going to take the Morgul Blade?
Yeah, I mean that's a sensible upgrade in general because it's quite useful. But I think that Smaug will notice that the Witch King has a Morgul Blade, the player, and just be like, right, I'm going to target him and kill him straight away. And Smaug can do that with his fire, and his magic.
Because that's the thing about it. It's like. Of course it's very easy to sit there completely isolated and go, well yeah, this could kill him, this could kill him. Yes. But it's more the question of getting that army on the table against him and then making it work. Because as you say, as soon as you see a wind lance...
Yeah, I think a lot of it will come down to some roll-offs because you really want to stop him doing that fire breathing. So if you can get into him, win the heroic moves and charge in, with some big heroes, say Dwalins, Gilgalads, who are able to wound things
easier. You need
easier.
+1s to wound.
Yeah, you need the
That's
+1s
what you
to wound. So you need the Dwalins,
you need
Gilgalads, or the piercing strikes.
Yeah. Because I do think it is the +1 that's huge rather than a higher strength.
Yeah. But if you can have both together, like Dwalin with his axes and...
But then all it takes, the thing is that's a great plan, all it takes is it to go wrong once. And even then, like Dwalin... He's strength 5, say piercing strikes now, which he can, the new profile.
Even 8,
he goes up to 8. He's going to need 5 +1 4s. And he's got 4 attacks, I guess he'd be using it. Yeah. He might do 2, he might do 3, but then he's very likely to die the next guy. Everyone's saying, the King of the Dead. It's like, alright, but the King of the Dead has got to win. Yeah. He's got to beat him in combat. He's got no might. Alright, well I'll put Alfred in there. Okay. So you top him up.
He still died very quickly.
Is the King of the Dead?
3.
He's not going to beat Smaug.
You need someone else.
The Witch King on Felbeast, alright, great, but he's still got to use one of his might to strike.
And he's fight 5, and Smaug's probably going to get to 10.
Yeah, that's not a guaranteed thing going in.
You need a high fight value. Azog could have a go, 3+ to wound.
Yeah, if he was on the White Warg, so he's got 6 might.
You can get to him quickly.
He gets 4 attacks against him if he charges.
He's got 4 fate across the 2 models.
He's also going to draw Smaug's might. He'll use 3 of his own, and all 3 of Smaug's on heroic moves. Yeah.
So,
he could have a crack.
Azog could have a crack.
But even still, 4 attacks, needing 3s to wound, not wanting to use your might, you might chip away at half his wounds before you run out of might and get toasted.
Yeah.
So I think that's very important for the comments. It's like, we know there's ways to kill him, but there's a difference between knowing there's ways to kill him and actually managing to do it in a game.
And then the other thing to remember is that tournament games are scenarios. So yes, some will be very difficult, like to the death, because you can't break him without killing him.
Yeah.
But there are others, like we say, domination, which you may be able to cover two objectives just with one
maybe
model.
3 possibly.
Yeah. But there'll be some objectives where Smaug's hard pressed to win, because he'll probably have to take the army down to just above 25% and then try and wipe it out in one turn.
Like,
hope it doesn't
I think
end.
whole ground and high ground in particular, and there is a genuine interesting thing to see if, depending on what army he's playing, he could put himself on the objective and actually prevent them winning by
stopping them getting on the objective.
If he's playing a cavalry army, you might not be able to fit them. But something like that, or recon, where the game could end on a 1 or a 2, and that could beat him.
Yeah.
So that as ever is the other thing. But equally, I could see him getting armies down to 25% and winning. I could see you very easy killing the leader.
Yeah.
Very easy breaking the enemy.
Yeah. But I much prefer this kind of profile to the Balrog type profile, which whilst it's a lot of points, the 400 points, you can't get those points back quickly. Smaug can do it quickly because he's got the perks. And it'd be nice to see a Balrog profile with the barge rule that Smaug has, or something like that makes him worth those points.
That is a good profile for him. It's a good, cool
and
profile.
700 points is a good points limit to go for.
Will we see it at a tournament?
Yeah.
Smaug?
Yeah.
Smaug?
Yes.
Because someone said the interesting thing is all a bit of an academic discussion, because as of yet, I don't know how quick they're going to restock them, people saying January, there's only 200, and he said very few of those are going to assemble it, less are going to paint it, less are going to bring it to a tournament.
But at some point I'm sure there will be.
Yeah.
The other, I think people will be quite strict on Smaug proxies. Unless you've scratch built one, I think that tournament organisers will say, no, you can't.
Yeah, it's not just a dragon.
You can't just put another dragon on that base.
Yeah, I would agree.
I mean, yeah.
It's a custom base for one thing.
Yeah.
You wouldn't, you'd have to get the exact measurements, but no, I would completely agree with that. Yeah. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see how that goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's Smaug. Well worth waiting for.
Yeah.
You know,
we've not really talked about
There's a double spread at the back.
Yeah. It's an incredible model.
The model's incredible, and the amazing thing is, we've talked in the past, there's been loads of chat about how big it is, and it's bigger. We've now seen it, you know, people have been unboxing it and putting next things. The wing, I saw, was next to this book, and it was about the same size. The wing would kind of fit inside that, but that's one of his wings. It is absolutely
It's an incredible model. So yeah, 10s all round for Smaug.
Yeah, Smaug's incredible. So yeah, that's the profiles for this video. But we didn't want to do a, I know last time the guys did a thing about the scenarios, but there's only 2 scenarios in it, so we didn't think it was worth doing a separate video for them. So we thought we'd roll it in together. So we're going to talk about the scenario, which is called Fire and Water, which is to do with these profiles.
Yeah, I can't tell whether that's showing.
Yeah, you're showing the picture. So this is meant to be Smaug's attack on Laketown. So the evil models are Smaug.
Yeah, just Smaug.
And the good models are?
You get Bard with the Windlance.
Girion Zeb?
Yeah, Girion Zeb with the Windlance. You get Feely, Keely, Bofa, Oyin, Tauriel, all old profiles.
Okay, Desolation's Unexpected Journey and Desolation's Smaug profiles.
You also get the Master of Laketown, Alfred, a Laketown Guard Captain, and 36 Laketown Guards.
So J. Clare can play this scenario.
Yes.
So the rest of us can watch.
Yes.
36 Laketown Guards.
That's a lot.
It is a lot. And it's interesting again about, if you look at the pictures, all the pictures for this scenario are Laketown Guard and Laketown Militia, because Games Workshop haven't painted 36 of these. So why should we? It does wrinkle me a bit. Yeah. It's like, if you're gonna, I always think this.
They've not got any Laketown Guard in the shot.
I think it's on the inside cover, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
On that one, because that's clearly the same scenario.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, if you're gonna do this, and if you're going to, it's that what's the word? Inspirational kind of element. Yeah. If you're gonna say, oh, you should go and do this, at least show it. To say, look how cool this looks. Yeah. So, but you could, if you're going to get, I've got 12 Laketown Guard, and I'll probably get 12 Laketown Militia, so I can see myself doing that. I can't see myself getting the extra 12 to do it. No. But if I'm brutally honest, I don't think 12 Militia are going to make a lot of difference.
No, they'll probably die quite quickly.
So what is the scenario?
So the scenario is essentially to kill Smaug.
It's easy.
Yeah. And the Smaug has to reduce the good side to a quarter or fewer of its starting levels.
Which I presume we're talking about 12 models or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, sounds like there's about 45 models in there.
Yeah,
11 models.
Like yeah. Whatever it is. So yeah, the board that they've suggested is a very cool Laketown themed one with boardwalks and water. However, this does pose a problem for Smaug because he can't fit on the boardwalks. So presumably Smaug will have to land in the water or land flying.
It's a scenario, isn't it? So you have to give it a bit of leeway.
Yeah.
You'd have to say, yeah, I can put Smaug here on the water.
Yeah. And he's
on the understanding that he's flying.
But then it poses a problem for the Laketown militia or anyone trying to attack Smaug.
Because he's invincible.
There's no way to get to him without swimming in deep water.
And do we think that's the point? Because it's not really dealt with, is it?
No.
The thing? I don't know if that is the point, that you're not meant to be able to charge it.
Yeah.
And that it's all meant to be shooting attacks.
Yeah.
But then that makes a lot of the models in your army completely useless.
Yeah, they're just going to be shot at.
Just going to be
killed.
standing there.
Yeah. Or unless Smaug charges them. So yeah, there are a couple of special rules. Smaug, he's so furious that whenever he kills an enemy hero, he regains a single might or will point used earlier in the battle. Because he needed the help.
Which is, I think, also why they filled the good side with rubbish
Rubbish heroes. Well, they're all the ones that are there.
There's plenty of heroes for him to toast.
Yeah. Smaug will be getting a lot of might and will back.
That's absurd.
Also,
can you imagine if he manages to get 5 in one turn in his fire? I'll have all them back. I've rolled a, whatever it is, a 1 to wound my fire, 2 might.
He can't go above his starting value, but you know he's going to toast people like Alfred and the Laketown captain very quickly. Anyway, there's also a special rule for Keely, given this he's just been healed in the book. He is the walking wounded. He cannot move at more than half his normal speed, so he moves 2.5 inches per go. Which
will be very important for the one turn before he gets burnt alive.
Because obviously he's been shot in the leg, which is now healed. And he cannot perform heroic march, and he can't benefit from anyone's heroic march.
Can he do heroic lust?
I think the biggest rule of all though is that Keely cannot use the combat synergy with Feely.
It's very important, yeah, it's a big... I mean, that's how I figured I'd take Smaug down.
Yeah.
I'd charge into him with Feely and then swap him around.
That'd do the trick.
It'd be baffled.
Yeah.
Like, whoa, what's going on here? So yeah, none of that.
So yeah, Keely's not moving very far. Yeah.
So, as you may have guessed, we are being slightly... I don't know. We're dubious about the good side's
what
chances.
does Bard have to... Basically, Bard has to shoot Smaug.
With the Windlords.
And he can do that in 2 turns. Minimum.
Where does Smaug doesn't set up, does he? He moves on from the edge.
On, yeah.
And Bard's going to be...
where's the Bard deploy? Starting positions... Anywhere on the battlefield.
So Bard's going to deploy on the southboard edge then?
Dragon moves from any point along the northern table edge, yeah. So
you deploy Bard right at the back.
Yeah, right at the back.
48 inches away.
Yeah.
Which gives him 3 turns.
Yeah.
No, because he's got an 18-inch range fire.
Yeah. Yeah.
12, 30, so he's safe for 2 turns.
Yeah, he's safe for 2 turns. And he can do it in those 2 turns. So Bard has to roll to hit, which is a 3.
Yes.
He then has to hit Smaug with a 6 on the scatter chart.
You can use might for that.
You can use might for that.
And Alfred, presumably...
Yeah, would be deployed...
Alfred can deploy anyway.
Yeah, Alfred can deploy
Let's
anyway.
assume we go with the averages, so Bard goes up to 6 might.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you deploy Alfred right by Bard and give him the might at the start.
Yeah.
So Bard's going to, hopefully has 6 might. So he needs to roll a 6 on the scatter chart and then roll to wound, which will need 4s against Smaug with the Windlands.
And even that itself could well require some might.
Yeah, 3, 6, 4 will need might.
Oh, 3, 6, 4 will need might.
Yeah. So yeah, he needs a 3, 6, 4.
Yeah. Which he can probably do with his might.
Yeah, and he also has the black arrow for 1 turn. So whether you do that on the first turn or the second turn, I don't think it really matters because Smaug's not going to be...
And the black arrow will allow to re-roll to hit.
You want to do it on the first turn. Because the second turn he'll be another 12... He'll be 12 inches on the first turn. 12 inches on the second, which is 24, but plus 18 inches, 42.
Yeah.
So then he can... Is it 48 inches? Oh no, you'd just be beyond the fire breath, wouldn't you?
So the black arrow will allow him to re-roll to hit.
Yeah.
Re-rolling a 3.
Yeah.
Should hit.
Yeah. Automatic 6 for the scatter, which
You
is a big
skip
one.
the scatter.
And then the 4 to wound. So you might
re-rolls the wound.
Yeah, and no, it doesn't say anything about wounding.
Doesn't it?
No, I don't think so.
It just re-rolls to hit and ignores the scatter.
Yeah, let's check it. Any in the way tests he re-rolls, because of course Smaug could hide behind stuff on the way.
Yeah.
So
well, you're going to be able to see him.
Yeah.
Realistically, 3 with a re-roll you should hit, even without might.
Yeah. So.
Then
a 4.
4 to wound.
Yeah,
He
if
uses
you've got
might
6
on
might for those 2 goes, you could do it.
That's 10 wounds. You should do
it's 10 wounds each time.
But it's the second time without the arrow that he's then got to hit and gets it. I don't know. But if he doesn't, and the wind lance then gets toasted, as it probably will, the good side are then in a whole lot of trouble.
Yeah.
You got Tariel with a bow.
And 12 Laketown with a bow needing 6s by 6s. I don't. If Bard, it's basically Bard shooting Smaug or Smaug wins.
Which isn't, for my money, a wonderfully enthralling scenario.
No.
Setting it all up to look cool and then having, did I kill him? No, alright, well that's the game. And it's not the game over.
Yeah.
And you know, you've still, you know, either the wind lance or Bard are dead, or both. But then you've got, might still have Bard alive, you might have destroyed the wind lance.
Yeah. It's difficult in these kind of things because you've got so much invested in these two that whoever wins out the 2 wins the scenario. And you do get that in some other games as well.
But you know, again, if Tariel did manage to get lucky, she should hit Smaug.
Yep.
She's got 3 might.
Yeah.
She needs a 6 by 5.
So you're saying, let's say Bard's done 10 wounds, he's done 1, but so he's got 10 to go.
Yeah.
Tariel could get another 3.
Yeah, relatively easily.
But then he's still got to do the other 7.
Yeah.
Well, he could do.
But then maybe the point of this scenario is actually, or one of the points, you swap the players and you see how many wounds you take with Smaug.
Yeah.
Before you all get toasted.
Yeah.
But if and when we get a Smaug, we get the wind lance model, I would like to give it a go.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Yeah.
I don't know what I'd do about the scenery. I don't know whether you would. I think you'd have to play it all open.
Yeah.
So you could charge them if you wanted to, wouldn't you? Because it's silly for him to be invincible. Because all the Laketowns with spears and swords are just going to be largely irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
And because you've got a load of dwarfs. Your dwarfs have got a lot. Keely's got 2 might and a bow.
Got a reasonable amount of might, yeah.
Not maybe.
Yeah.
But I think it needs a lot of things to go your way.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, it'd look cool
It would look cool. It'd be fun. Maybe on the channel in about half a year's time.
though. Yeah. Half a year? How quickly are you anticipating getting Smaug done?
I have no idea. 3 years.
But anyway,
yes, that's the scenario.
Yeah, so that's the end of the Laketown.
Yeah, that's the end of our
portion.
first Battle of 5 Armies fortnight-ish video.
Yeah.
With all the Laketown stuff.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more, talking about the dwarfs and the elves and such.
Yeah.
Very soon. Yeah. So, as ever, don't forget to comment, like, share and subscribe.
Support your Hobbit Hoey.
And follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Yeah, and happy strategy battle gaming, guys.
And Merry Christmas.